There are secrets buried inside Chernobyl that were never meant to be uncovered. Not by investigators, not by historians, and definitely not by the public. For decades, a quiet war has been fought over what really happened inside Reactor 4, and what the Soviet Union tried desperately to erase. Most people know the official story. A safety test gone wrong, a reactor meltdown, a deadly explosion. But inside a restricted archive beneath the ruins, the documents tell a very different story. A story so unsettling that the Soviet government ordered parts of it sealed until the year 2086. It begins months before the explosion. Workers inside the plant reported strange electrical surges, equipment malfunctioning with no explanation, and a low-frequency hum that vibrated through the concrete walls at night. Engineers dismissed it as background radiation interference. But those who worked closest to the core knew something was different. They felt something was happening inside the reactor, something alive. One technician described a bright green light moving behind the reactor shielding. Another claimed he heard a metallic ringing coming from the core, like something scraping against steel. Both men filed official reports. Both reports quietly disappeared. When investigators later searched the plant's internal archive, they found the missing reports inside a locked cabinet, each stamped with the same warning: do not circulate. Level 6 clearance required. Level 6, the highest classification in the Soviet scientific system. Even generals didn't have access to that category. Inside the same cabinet was an earlier file marked Project Orpheus, a program designed to study the effects of extreme radiation on human neurological behavior. The file suggested that the Soviets believed radiation could open new pathways in the human brain, pathways that normal conditions could never activate. If true, this would mean Chernobyl wasn't just a power station. It was also a research site. But when investigators reached the restricted basement beneath Reactor 4, the place no one was supposed to enter, they found something even stranger. A sealed steel vault, 7 inches thick. No designation, no date, only a single red marking burned into the metal. Sector 9. When they opened it, the air inside was so cold it felt like stepping into a freezer. Rows of shelves filled the room, coated in dust and ash. And on the shelves were dozens of boxes labeled Anomaly records, do not release. The files inside were terrifying. One document described unknown electrical signatures detected inside the core hours before the explosion. Another reported non-biological movement in a lower chamber where no personnel were assigned. One investigator wrote that the chamber door had scratch marks on the inside, as if something had tried to escape. But the most disturbing page was a handwritten note found on the floor, half burned, barely readable. It said, "The anomaly is unstable. If the core fails, containment will fail with it." Inside another folder were photographs, grainy, distorted, nearly impossible to interpret. But each showed the same thing: a faint green light captured inside the reactor tunnel. Some thought it was plasma. Some thought it was radiation bending light. Others believed it was something far more dangerous, something the Soviet Union could never explain. After the explosion, the Soviet military was ordered to seal parts of the basement permanently. Workers reported hearing echoes behind the doors, metal shifting, and a deep vibrating sound that stopped only after the chamber was filled with concrete. Soon after, the Level 6 archive was emptied. Many files were burned. Others were moved to unknown locations. Only fragments survived, pieces of a puzzle no one was supposed to solve. Years later, a former scientist broke silence. He claimed that what happened in Reactor 4 was not a simple accident. He said the explosion was triggered because the core had become unpredictable. When asked what that meant, he refused to answer. Another whistleblower, interviewed anonymously, said something even more alarming. He claimed the Soviets detected unusual electromagnetic pulses, the kind produced by experimental weapons. He suggested the reactor may have been used to test technology the world had never seen. But when he was asked what happened to the lower chamber, the man became silent. His last words were, "Whatever is still down there, it should stay buried." To this day, entire sectors of Chernobyl remain sealed, not for structural danger, not for radiation, but because even modern investigators are not allowed to enter. When asked why, the official answer is always the same: unauthorized. So we're left with a question the world still cannot answer. Was Chernobyl truly a disaster caused by human error? Or was it the accidental release of something the Soviets were trying to control? Something we were never supposed to know existed. And if the documents are telling the truth, then the real story of Chernobyl has not been uncovered yet. It has only begun.